We see it in videos documenting glow-ups, career milestones, motherhood, and personal reinvention. But beyond the rose-tinted lens, what does it really mean to become her? Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Women Talk. I'm Danielle, and womanhood is never a straight path. Sometimes we're ambitious and driven, other times we're simply figuring things out one day at a time. So today we wear many hats, which is why it's okay to discover who we are and learn new things as we embrace the different chapters of our lives. In the spirit of celebrating the woman we choose to be, I want to introduce two incredible women who will help us understand the importance of staying authentic. So here with me today in the studio is Aisha Priest, entrepreneur and content creator, and Fiona Leong, entrepreneur and wellness advocate. Thank you so much for being here in the studio.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Don't be so timid, guys. It's okay. We're just going to have, a lively conversation, I think, about something that we all can relate to. So every woman has their own version of who she hopes to become. But obviously, along the way, many of us also inherit expectations from social media, from our families, from society, and even from ourselves. So before we talk about growth and success, I really want to touch on identity, which is something that I think is really important before we talk about all these other things, I want to know from your perspective, what is her to you? So both of you can answer.
Okay, maybe me first. I think before this, the her means that somebody, like a woman who can juggle everything, can figure out everything, like maybe having a beautiful family, successful career. But now, when I get older, I think I got different definition of that her, I'll be more on somebody who are more comfortable to be herself. Yeah.
How about you, Aisha? What's your definition of her?
My definition of her is somebody who is able to live authentically to her values and not necessarily do what society wants her to do, but live a life according to what she wants, she needs, and also is really happy.
Yeah.
So being able to be authentic to her values.
Yeah. Okay, so talking about her before and her now, how do you, Fiona was telling us about how she thought her was before, and now she had to adjust a lot of who she wants to become. So what about you in the younger days before and then who you are now?
Yeah, I mean, back in my heyday, back in the day, I thought the version of success is, I did law, climbed the corporate ladder, and I ended up feeling really burnt out and questioning. I remember seeing a lady calling her baby at 9 p.m. for a meeting daily, and I said, what choices do I need to make today that will determine my future? And now that I'm a mum, so then what I did was I quit my corporate job, I built a business, and 8 years later, I have a little baby. And that completely also changed my definition of success again.
And we have to always keep adapting. We see from other women, we learn and we try to adapt, which is beautiful. So Fiona, social media has become really how we define ourselves sometimes in this day and age about womanhood, and we try to tally our success with everyone else. So I just want to ask, how do women avoid measuring themselves against everyone's expectation? All these unrealistic images and unrealistic success and success stories and everything that you're supposed to become. Because I think when you're influenced, you try to be everything.
Yeah, I guess we all women compared before, that's included me, when we see other people highlight, wow, I wish I can be her. But I guess what we see is just the highlight. We don't see the story behind, right? And throughout my work, I have met so many amazing women. And the more I get to know them, the more I see like every woman carries something that we don't see behind, right? That's when I stop comparing. And all I ask myself is like, am I better compared to who I was yesterday? I think that's good enough instead of like comparing to others.
Sometimes I also think it's not just better. Sometimes we just try to survive the day too.
Oh, yes.
Right? It's not even about better.
Tell me about
It's not
it.
even about measuring ourselves sometimes, but it's just like, can we survive
So
everything
true.
that we need to get by for today? And I just want to talk about that as well, because Aisha, you talked about how, you know, you see women excel in their workplace and everything. And we are always expected to excel in career, motherhood, relationships, health, appearance. How is it that we are always expected to have it all? And is it realistic?
So I believe as women, we can have it all, but not all at once. And I think that our energy and time are finite. We cannot give the equal amount of energy to everything, we'll get burnt out. So for example, let's say I run workshops, I teach skills, and I have 100 people. For that week, my house is a freaking mess.
Yeah.
My husband might get the short end of the straw for me, right? But that week, we understand that our energy needs to be given to our career. Next week, we give it to other things. And I heard this really interesting thing called the glass balls. In our life, we have rubber balls and glass balls. My daughter, my husband, there's certain things in life which you can't let smash on the floor.
Oh, wow.
But other things you can drop. So when life is busy, ask yourself, what are my glass balls? Hold on to those. Let some drop on the floor and pick them up later when you have more energy and time.
When you have days like that, Fionn, you know, where everything is not exactly what you expect to be, how do you then not feel so critical about yourself? How do you manage that?
There's only one thing I always fall on is count my blessing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so true.
It just happened like probably like morning or yesterday when I feel really down, like overwhelmed by everything. I was just thought of like, okay, I still have beautiful 3 kids with me, you know, husband, I'm my family members. I just being grateful. Then I just move forward.
Because it really is sometimes about perspective. We lose sight of all the things we have because we're trying to achieve things for the day or for the year, right? What about you, Aisha?
I mean, in line with that too, I mean, they say that gratitude, it's easy to be grateful when things are going right, but can you be grateful when things are going wrong? And I do a lot of journaling, even if it takes 5 minutes.
Beautiful.
When I'm having a bad day, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for and 3 things I'm looking forward to.
Beautiful.
Wow.
You know, I also need to start journaling, but so far we've discovered that the journey of becoming her isn't really about success, status, or ticking every box. It's about understanding your values, owning your story, and defining fulfillment in your own terms. After the break, we'll continue the conversation and unpack the pressures women face in trying to do it all. Stay with us. Welcome back to Women Talk. Today we're discussing womanhood, growth, and how all our different chapters shape who we become. Still with me are Aisha Priest and Fionn Leong. Growth isn't always comfortable, and it certainly isn't linear. Sometimes our biggest lessons come from moments we never asked for, whether it's failure, motherhood, career changes, or simply realizing we've outgrown the life we once thought we wanted. That said, it's those very moments that shape the women we become. And I think this is so relevant to my life right now, and I just want to ask you guys, how did you let go of the identity that you once had once you realize you've outgrown the phases and you want to enter a new beginning? Sorry, for you, Fionn.
Okay, I guess letting go is not easy. We always miss being someone we used to be. But I guess every season will bring us something new.
Yes.
Yeah, we just need to keep on moving, embracing, and just keep on going along the way.
What about you, Aisha?
I mean, I think for me, I think more strategically, because I think if you're sitting here today and thinking, I want to change my life, I don't know how to do it, I feel stuck, I have these bills, I have responsibilities, I think what you need to start is by carving out time and creating a path. And sometimes when you do something, it may not necessarily lead to what you want, but it will unlock skills that you didn't realize you had. For example, right? I have a black finger, meaning I kill all my plants, but I was really, when I had my baby, I had grown this business, but I felt like something was missing and I didn't know what it was, so I just started gardening.
Oh.
And I built this beautiful garden with herbs, and that became me learning new skills to then start a different business, which is totally unrelated to the garden. But my point is, if you keep trying, keep meeting people, trying and doing things, you will untap parts in you that are asking for you to bring them out.
I love when you said, you know, you have black fingers and then you actually still delved into the thing that you assume that you're not really good at. And I think that's something that I can also relate to. I always believed that I was not really good in doing business. I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. But then I challenged that thought. And then now, you know, I have a few businesses that I don't say I totally own, but I help people manage, you know. And I think you have to learn, you have to keep exploring yourselves. And have you tried, you know, doing something like that? I just want you to share with our viewers here. Maybe you have something in common with that.
I guess for me, like, the new season will be like after I become mother. I feel like I just couldn't do as much as I can before as single. So, you know, the kind of like perception and attitude towards life, I become sometimes I feel like I'm so stuck, right? I just want to be myself again. But again, when the life throws us more responsibility and role on the plate, you just have to like look at the bright side.
You have to wing it.
Yeah.
You have 3 kids,
Yes.
you know, 11, 9 and 7, and you have 1 under 2. It's difficult to try to manage and become our old self.
Yes.
So how did you manage that mentally, knowing that, you know, you have this, I feel so stuck, but at the same time, you also have to keep owning yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think by loving myself more, for example, like I do things that make myself happy, like exercise routine that I used to get neglect all this while. But since, you know, I become a mother, I feel like I really need to be healthy and energetic to do more things. But it surprisingly helped me to keep my good mental health state. Yeah, so I'm really grateful that I never give up on exercise.
Well, I have to restart that. This is so difficult. Okay, so many people say their biggest growth came through failure, heartbreak, burnout, and even motherhood. What became your biggest turning point, Aisha, and what did it teach you?
Firstly, I think when I was in corporate all those 8 years ago, I had financial stability, I achieved the goals I want, and then when I started my new business, I didn't earn for 2 years. And it was learning how to find my own customers and grow this online business to a point where I was financially independent. And now those skills, the hardship, you can put me anywhere in the world and I can make money. I can have my own stability. And I think hardship is so, we can either go through it or grow through it.
Yeah.
And hardship also develops skills for us. So if you're going through hardship right now, it's really tough. It's giving you an opportunity to pause and reflect and ask you, is this what you want? And number 2, you are going to develop skills right now if you're going through hardship, when you're going to look back and you're going to say, I'm so, so grateful I developed these skills and went through this.
Yes, absolutely. And I just also want to follow up with, how do women distinguish between giving up and simply changing direction?
The way I see it is, if I'm giving up due to fear and giving up because it's hard, then maybe it's giving up. But if I'm changing because it's more aligned with my values. So for example, when I became a mother, I couldn't do the hours that I used to do running my own business. I couldn't feasibly do it. And like you mentioned, I felt stuck. So I ended up pivoting and starting a more physical product business. It's a snail mail subscription. And it meant that I wanted people to go offline, get something in their mail, hold something. And I asked myself, am I giving up? And the answer was no. I'm pivoting according to my values.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up because I'm scared. I'm changing to meet the new desires and the new me that has changed with motherhood.
I love that, you know, when we talk about these things, we are also telling the women watching the show that we all have options to pivot, you know, as little as we can also, we can still raise our standard of living or the choices we make to really impact our lives. And so, you know, we're talking about things that we can directly control. But now I also want to talk about things that we can't really control, like, you know, how society actually think or expect women to do or become. So, Fionn, I want to ask, is there something you realize about society's expectations of a woman that you want to change?
I really think women nowadays is very tired. Like, we have to be a good mother, we have to look good, be fit, we have to financial freedom, own our own business or good job, and just have to juggle so many things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just feel like actually we can be more grace to the woman.
I know.
Yeah.
We need more grace for women. So as we've heard, choosing a new direction isn't always giving up. It's, it can be one of the bravest forms of growth where we sometimes have to have the courage to leave behind identities that no longer fit. We'll be right back after the break. I'm with Aisha and Fionn, and after all the challenges, the reinventions, the lessons, and perhaps the most important question is, how do we stay true to ourselves? We don't need to have everything figured out, but we can make choices that reflect our own values instead of someone else's. So I want to have this question directed to Aisha. What role does courage play in reinventing ourselves, especially within the whole concept of taking ownership of who we are as women, as a woman, mother, daughter, friend, etc.?
I think, first of all, the definition of courage. Courage, for me, is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think it's essential because if you feel fear, and you have the courage to continue taking action, even if you feel uncomfortable, even if you feel scared, you will always grow and move forward.
Yeah.
It's when you feel the fear and you decide not to take action is when you start to feel stuck. So courage is essential, in my opinion.
So how do you define or how do you differentiate fear that actually protects you?
If you have that intuition, we have that intuition as women.
Yeah.
If something is meant to protect you, it's normally not aligned with your values. It doesn't sit right with you. But if it's something which is trying to protect you from actually getting out your comfort zone, but it's aligned with your values, I think you can push past that. It's always going back to, what is it that I want? What's important to me? What are my values? And going back to that.
Yeah. How can women support one another instead of competing?
I think we can cheer more for each other.
Cheer more for each other. Yeah.
Cheer for others' success. And for me, don't judge too quickly. Listen, and because we mentioned earlier, everyone has their different story behind. And if we see really another woman being very successful, she probably worked very, very hard to get there.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe we can just say a kind word to them. I think that's mean a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all just shine differently. We don't have to compete.
That's very nice. And we shine differently and we can be inspired by everyone's success. And how about you, Aisha? What do you think about, supporting instead of competing?
I think that supporting women, being able to go after the things that they want, even if it doesn't fit your definition of what is right or wrong or successful, right? For example, if somebody doesn't want to have children, if they don't want to have the big career, whatever makes them happy, whatever version of success, I think we need to celebrate that. Celebrate her going after what she wants and being happy for her. And like Fionn said, if there's a successful woman, think of how many failures she's had to go through to get to that success.
Yeah.
And actually, her being successful is showing us, other women, it's possible.
Yeah.
So kudos to her for treading the path and opening the path for the rest of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is for the both of you. If your younger self met the woman you are today, what do you think she would admire most?
I think she would tell me, you did okay.
You did excellent. Yeah.
I think she would be proud of me for not giving up, because life isn't smooth all the time.
Yeah.
They have a good and bad season, and I think she'll be happy that I've never give up in believing that life could get better.
True.
Yeah, I think just being hopeful and keep moving forward is very important.
Yeah. And yourself?
I think young me would be pretty excited with the life I lead because, I lead an unconventional life, unconventional career, and have a lot of freedom and flexibility. And young me didn't believe that you could have an unconventional career and have financial independence. And I think she would have been excited, proud, maybe a bit of disbelief. But yeah, I think she would have been really excited.
Okay, last question. How important, with everything being said, is self-aware in becoming the woman you truly want to be? Self-awareness, I think, is not talked about enough. We try to achieve things, we try to go with the flow and live in, true to our values and all. But self-awareness is also quite crucial in making sure that we pivot in the right direction. Yeah. So anyone can take this question.
I think self-awareness is crucial because you need to know if what you're doing is aligned with your values or what society or what your family or your friends think you should do, right? And so we are going to change. It's okay to change your mind. People think, oh, I said this, I did that, I can't change my mind. You can change your mind. And self-awareness and knowing what your values are, you will always go back to yourself and say, this is what I want, this is what's important to me. So you won't be shaken by the perceptions of others if you are very aware of what your values are.
What about women who struggle choosing the type of values that they actually want to be loyal to? What about that? How can we advise women out there, okay, this is maybe the way I try to define my values? Yeah.
I think they should have listened to their own voice more.
Okay.
Because we are living in the era where it's just too many voices all over, like social media, and everybody giving us comment like what we should be, how we should act. So I think we can take some time to really listen to ourselves, have some conversation or journaling. I think is good.
Journaling, yeah.
And then to figure out what is really important for us, not anybody else.
That's really, really meaningful. Today reminds us that becoming her isn't about chasing perfection or ticking every box society has laid out for us. It's really about having the courage to define success and happiness in our own terms. Every woman's journey will look different, and that's exactly how it should be. Thank you so much, Aisha and Fiona, for being here with us. I really loved the conversation today.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you so much to everyone watching at home. Thank you for staying with us till the end. Follow our socials at Women Talk TV3, at TV3 Malaysia. I'm Danielle, and this has been Women Talk. Take care.